What's
Jake,
going on,
it's
everybody?
been a minute, dude. How you
Been
doing?
too long. Been too long. I've been all right, following this. I don't even want to say the adjective I was just about to describe. This team
Yeah,
has been definitely the roller coaster this year, but I'm happy to be on the show.
yeah, absolutely. Just so you guys know, Jake is going to be joining us here at JTSN, making some content on the TikTok for the Flyers. I did want to ask you, what are the jerseys you have in the background? I'm a big jersey guy, so I
So
have
I
to ask.
have around 15 Flyers jerseys.
Oh wow.
I got Michkov, Konechny twice, Hayes, Drew three times. I got the Drew Reebok one
Nice.
on right now. I have a Drew reverse retro, Drew black, and then normal. Goss to Spare is the Stadium Series one. You can see that kind of hanging off
Nice.
right
Yeah,
there.
I can see it.
And then I have an Ivan Provorov 50th anniversary one, the one that looks like candy corn. Those jerseys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in like a child size. And then I have whatchamacallit, Clark Griswold from National Lampoon Christmas movie. He
Okay.
wears a Blackhawks jersey that has his last name on it, and I actually have the one that he wore in the
Okay.
movie over there. So
Oh wow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's sick. Yeah, I got a signed Ronick one, and then I have a bunch of other ones like hanging up on my room, but you can't see
nice.
them on camera right now. I have like Ronaldo, Lindros, Coots, which we'll get into Coots in a minute. I know a lot of people are not too pleased with the way he's been playing this season. I think it's
Hot
what
button issue this
25,
year.
25 games without goal.
I think it was. They said something on the. I think it was Bush said something about it last night on the broadcast. He is like nine. Or no. It was PHLY Flyers, that podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They were talking about how he's only has 9 points in his last 25 odd games, and none of them are goals. So yeah, it's a little brutal with Coots.
I just feel like a lot of people want him gone, but
Hmm.
who's going to take his contract?
That's the thing. Like I think it expires 2032 if I'm remembering correctly.
I think it's 2030,
Because when
but
was it
I
signed?
could be wrong.
22.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and it was eight. Yeah, okay. So then 30.
Yeah.
So we still have 4 more years. I don't know if that's necessarily the worst thing in the world, but it is a crusher when he's immovable. He's an anchor contract. I think his reputation league wide is probably shot at this point.
Yeah.
He's not a. I don't know. I don't see the crowd that's like, oh, buy him out just to get him off
Mhm.
the roster, because I don't see that really making a ton of sense money wise, and he's still a useful like third line. Maybe you could really utilize him well in a fourth line, and then use him on important draws and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really sad to watch, because I remember loving Couturier when I was
Oh
a wee young lad.
yeah. Yeah, he had the hat trick with Giroux in the playoffs
Hmm.
against Pittsburgh back in what,
Yeah,
2012. So I think that was game two,
2012. Yeah,
2012. Yeah.
yeah.
And even a few years ago before the injuries, he was great. He was one of our best players. And
Hmm.
then those injuries it was like, just like that, he was kind of done. And
Yeah.
it's a shame because he's our captain and he could possibly break the record for the most seasons played as a Flyer. I think
He's the longest tenured Philadelphia athlete right now as well.
yeah, I think he's only behind Giroux and Clark. They've both played 15 seasons and Coots has played 14.
Okay.
So if he's here for another 2 years, be the longest he'll have the longest streak of being a Flyer ever, which is kind
Wow.
of crazy.
That's insane. I feel so old from you saying that.
Yeah, right? That's
Wow.
crazy, right? And
Yeah.
we've been here for his whole career, which is absolutely nuts to think
I
about.
remember when he was a rookie.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And what was it? His rookie year was 2011? No, 2012.
Yeah, because he was drafted in 11, I
Yeah,
believe.
the 11-12 season.
Yeah.
Right. That's the year he had the hat trick in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've seen a lot of people say that they don't want him to be captain anymore. Obviously, we talked about him not, you know, being on the team anymore. It's not going to happen. He's going to be a Flyer. What are your thoughts on people saying that Konechny should be the captain? Do you agree or disagree?
So, funny enough, I was texting my cousin about this last night after he scored that third goal. I think he should have been the captain, if I'm being honest. I think he really embodies the identity of this team specifically, and I don't necessarily mean the Broad Street Bully identity or the the hard hitting physicalness of it all, which he is. He is physical.
Right.
But I think specifically for the attitude of this Flyers team, they're younger, they're a lot scrappier. They have a lot of guys that like to be agitators, like to insert themselves in the play. And I think Konechny really leads by example in that way. Like he put the team on his back last night after getting a rocket of a shot. I think it was an ankle that he hit,
Yeah.
something like that. Basically playing on one skate, still scored 3 goals. Like I think this team really needs a play by example type guy, and Couturier just can't be that anymore. He physically is incapable of doing that, and who knows? Maybe, and not to say that like captaincy necessarily is the most relevant thing in the world because it obviously isn't. But him, I don't know. I just think Konechny specifically is a better example for the younger guys, especially the type of younger players that we have.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like the only problem with it is like you can't take the C off of Coots. It's one
Mhm.
thing if you could go back in time and make Konechny the captain instead of Coots, that's one thing. But it's hard to take the C off of Coots' jersey
Yeah,
and then put it on to Konechny's and just be like, okay, we're changing captains. Like
yeah,
Coots is already probably not too pleased with the way he's been playing in his situation in the league just because of his injuries, and then you're going to take the C away from him too. Then like, what's at that point? What's his purpose on the team? I feel like
right, right.
it's kind of sad. But even with the injuries, I would like to see him at least win some more faceoffs. Throw him in front of the net on the power play, something.
Hmm.
Because is he the player he once was? No, but I feel like he doesn't get used in the right way sometimes, and also he's just not playing to the best of his ability, even with knowing about the injuries.
Right.
If that makes any sense. Like
Yeah, I
I,
think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was
Eh.
just saying, like I feel like throwing him in front of the net on the power play, like we used to do with Simmons.
Hmm.
Like Simmons would score 30 goals. Sometimes he'd score 30 goals a year, and half of them were just burying the garbage in front of the net. Coots could score 20 goals a year like that, and
Absolutely.
why not,
Yeah.
right? I mean, he doesn't need to be, the fastest skater on the team, which he's not. He doesn't have to be that, but I'll let you take over. That was just my opinion.
I was just gonna say, I think, and this will never happen because it's hockey. He's the captain. Um, I think he should be rested a little bit more. I think that he should maybe not play all 82 games, like have 15, 20 games carved out before the season where he sits, just because you can tell like the man has had 2 back surgeries at this point.
Right,
Even if he was Connor McDavid skating level, which he obviously never was,
right.
he's not going to ever get back to the point when he was 27, 26, playing in his prime. And I think we're just wearing him out by playing him as much as we are. I don't think he should be playing top 6 minutes. I think that is
Yeah,
irresponsible. And like you said, he's not. I don't necessarily feel like they're using him correctly. I think I agree with that as well. I would love the idea of him, as a net front presence in on the power play. We don't have one at all, really.
right.
And like even on the penalty kill, you can tell like he's just getting beaten. He's getting beaten to the inside of the ice. There are multiple rush chances where he has the puck and it's like, oh great, well they're gonna catch up to him.
Yeah,
So he's still a very useful player. I do like what he brings defensively. His face-off percentage, he's probably he's either at the best or tied with Dvorak on the team. I know he's better than freaking Cates and Abel or Peterson.
yeah,
Um, but I don't know. I just think that he needs to be less of an important like I feel like Tocchet is still trying to make him a focal point of the offense, and I just don't agree that he's really in the condition or shape to do so.
yeah. No, it's a lot of good points you make, and I feel like it's a shame because if there's gonna be a guy on the team that's like, he's earned his spot on the team to never be traded or released or whatever, it is Sean Couturier.
Almost
It's
definitely.
just a shame how things have gone the last few years. And even if this team does make a push for the playoffs or does in the next few years, you'd want him to be a part of it. But with him here, we don't know if it's going to happen because it's not even that he's that bad of a player. It's
Mm.
just the cap space, which is the problem with me.
Yeah.
Like the point you made before, where you said you don't understand why people are saying just like buy him out so he's off the team. I agree with you. That wouldn't make any sense because you're still having to pay him, and then he's not there. You're losing one of your best faceoff guys.
Yeah.
So
I
it wouldn't
think
make
the
any
number
sense.
is like we would have to be paying and I'm not trying to make a joke, 6.7 million.
Yeah.
Um I'm not trying I seriously that is an actual number um for until 2030. So that is a significant cap hit. That could be realistically two roster players
Yeah.
whose spaces that were taking up with just dead money. And I think that is something that the Flyers really have need to stay away from, especially because we have the Kevin Hayes contract coming out. I think the Cam Atkinson buyout is done this year as well, and the Lawton money.
So,
So all that is getting cleared up. Why would you put yourself right back in cap hell? I don't understand that at all.
no, I agree. And I feel like, and this is something else I wanted to get into, and I wanted to hear your opinion on. If we're going to make the playoffs, or at least try to, you need to free up that money for the future, anyways, even if you're
Hmm.
going to make the playoffs this year, even if you're not. But I did want to get your opinion on something to change the topic a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, would you rather this team just tank, lose out, or close as you can, or do you want to see them make a push for the playoffs and be like conservative buyers at the deadline?
So there's the logical side of me that is like with how the team's looking right now, with who the hell knows what's happening the rest of Stalainen. The injuries are starting to pile up. Forrester, who I've been banging the drum for Forrester for I don't know since he's been on the team that he's going to be a really important piece moving forward. You're without him, so I like the logical side of my brain's like just tank. Um, sorry,
Oh, good.
let me mute that. Just tank, just trade rest of just a line and hoard assets, and then make a push for the playoffs next year. But the fan side of me is like,
I
again, I'm so done with it. I'm so done with the conservative selling and the hemming and hawing about, well, we want to be more competitive, but we're not going to make the playoffs. I just think this year, especially, like the unspoken goal was to make the playoffs. Like they couldn't admit that, but it felt like the management wanted this team to really really improve. And with how the Eastern Conference is right now, like if we go on a run, it's very possible that we could
yeah.
uh, be in the playoffs. So I think that a significant move needs to be made. I
Oh
think
yeah.
I need to say, like, I agree with you being like they need to be at the very least conservative buyers at the deadline. I even would push it further to be like, I think you need to maybe look to a significant trade.
Yeah.
Um, but I would really love them to just make a push. Even one playoff series, I think, would do wonders for not only the players on the ice, but fan interest. Uh, Philly fans are very patient, especially Flyers fans, but you're going to get more of the city on your side. You're going to get more people invested. You're going to attract free agents by winning a little bit more, and I think that pushing for that playoff position may help them way more in the long term than even getting a better draft pick would.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, like drawing interest to free agency. When was the last time we signed a big free agent? Zegras was a trade. Michkov we drafted.
Oh, come on, Christian Dvorak.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. But like I'm talking like
Yeah,
superstar free agent signing. When was the
like
last time we got that?
Panarin, like a Panarin type.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you think there's any possibility of that happening?
No, no, he's too
No.
old.
Yeah.
And I think he would want to play for a team that's more in compete now mode than the Flyers are at the moment. Like somebody like I could see him going to like a Tampa or a Florida
I
or
can see that.
Colorado. Minnesota is actually a really interesting um, one that somebody threw out there. So I don't think Panarin is the type of player we should really even be targeting, but people like Rob Thomas, people like Shane Wright, people like um, I don't even know if anybody from the Sabres, but I was writing an article about Owen Power, guys like that who are going to make significant impacts on the roster, but still fit the timeline of
Right.
competing in a couple of years.
Exactly. Like if you're gonna get Panarin and pay him for another 4 years, but pay him till he's what 40 years old,
Yeah,
it's not. It just doesn't make sense.
no,
It's not. It's just not. No, it doesn't make sense. So I agree. And another player, a lot of people in the chat were mentioning the other day was Pedersen from the Canucks, which we know now that that's not happening because there's relationship with Tocchet from the
right.
Canucks. But if you throw that aside, is that a guy you think would make sense, or you're still like not really sold on it?
I like Pedersen as a player. I don't understand the whole like he sucks now thing. Good players have off years, but
Mhm.
schematically, I don't know if he's the best fit here. I mean, again, I love him if he came to the Flyers. Fire Tocchet, get Pedersen, I'm on board for that.
Yeah,
But that's more so just a need for talent at the center position in general than him specifically as a player. Like I think I would rather take a chance on Shane Wright even
hmm
than Pedersen.
yeah. When you say fire Tocchet, you're only saying that because of the Pedersen situation, or is that
Yeah,
something?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not on that bandwagon uh
Yeah.
that the most obnoxious Flyers fans on Twitter
Yeah.
are a part of yet. But I don't love Talkit, but I also don't want him to be fired yet so early.
It's too early.
Yeah.
I would have liked them to see if they could give Bradshaw a chance because I liked what
Yeah.
I saw from him at the end of last year. But I don't mind the Tocchet hiring, and I'm reading the chat right now on TikTok, and people are saying Tocchet literally changed this team. Uh, there's mixed opinions here in the chat. A lot of people are saying they
Well,
want him
changed in a
fired.
good way or in a bad way? Because
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that person meant. But a lot of people are saying, you know, they do want him fired. A lot of people don't. So I
it's
don't.
too early. It's way too
Yeah,
early.
it is too early. But like you said, I think their unspoken goal was to make the playoffs. And if they don't make the playoffs, now what do you do?
Right.
Because now your team isn't as good as you thought they were, which I think is part of their problem. I think they think that this team is capable of like going to the playoffs. I don't think this team right now is, but
Hmm.
they're a move or two away from being that team that they think they were at the beginning of the season, or even when they were in second place in the Metro.
Right.
But I think it was kind of a given that at some point they were going to go on a little losing streak like they do every single year. This year wasn't as bad. It was only 6 instead of like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
But you can't go on that kind of losing streak when the standings are this close.
Right.
And we went from second place to fifth, and now I think we're tied with Columbus and Washington at 57 points.
Yeah, I think with last night Columbus
They tied.
tied.
I know they tied us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Washington, I'm not sure about though.
Washington did have 57, but I don't know if they played last night. So I would
Yeah.
have to double check that. Maybe someone in the chat can let us know. But someone said Pronger should get an assistant coaching job. Could help the penalty kill a ton.
I don't know about that one. Just because I think that's like another weird thing that's going on Twitter. I have to get off of Twitter. It's such a cesspool over there. It just makes me angry.
Very toxic.
Yeah, yeah, and it's oh my, the trade Michikov stuff and the just
Is
get
that
out of
I'm not
here.
on Twitter a lot. Is that what they're saying?
That's what they were saying. The whole spitting chicklets thing was it was a mess. Let's just say that. I don't want to
Yeah.
get that much more into it. Um, but the Pronger thing is just because he tweets out a couple of smart tweets every so often.
Mhm.
He just seems like another like Flyers guy. Like I thought the whole thing was, oh, we don't want any more former players, and now we're on the Pronger train because he said one smart thing one time. I don't.
Yeah.
Again, that seems like a vanity hire.
I agree. I agree. And it's the same thing as like, and I'm not trying to disrespect Danny B, but I feel like it'd be similar to that. Like people originally weren't too happy about it because like they don't want the whole former player thing again. Same thing with Tocchet. The same thing when we had a Berube or
Right.
whoever, and it's it's just kind of like an endless cycle of let's bring in this former player, let's bring
Yeah.
in this former player, and it hasn't seemed to work too well. Yeah, I like Danny B as a GM, I do,
Mhm.
but besides that, it hasn't really worked that well yet.
Right.
So I don't know. But back to the thing that we were saying about whether they should tank or not. I've had everybody on my videos recently in the chat here on Broad Street Banter saying that we need to tank. We need to just
Yep.
blow it up and start over. But how can you do that when you haven't even made the playoffs once? And I feel like my biggest takeaway from that is in order to tank, like a team like, as much as I hate them, a team like the Rangers, they're saying they're not, but they are tanking this year. Whether
They're
they're
tanking. Yeah.
yeah, whether they claim that they're retooling or rebuilding, whatever, they're tanking. They're going to trade star players to get picks and younger guys to develop for the future. We don't have those star players to trade.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would tank. Like,
I also
I don't
feel
know
like
I don't know
we
how
already went through the teardown phase.
we did.
I did that not. Was nobody else there?
No,
Like,
we did.
yeah, exactly. Like summer 2023. Provorov, Hayes is gone. That Frost and Farabee trade.
Yeah.
Um,
Giroux.
Drew. All like, that makes no sense to me because it's like again, like one, who is there left to trade, right?
Right.
Um, I guess you could be upset about them not trading Konechny because uh, that would have gotten you a haul. We could have very much used a trade like that, but he's not going anywhere. Couturier is unmovable. Sanheim's not going anywhere. They really love Owen Tippett. And he fits the timeline of the rebuild. He can still technically be a part of that leadership group that brings them out of the dredges. But I just like again, yeah, who's left to trade other than like Bobby Brink, Noah Cates,
But
those
those aren't
types of
guys that are
guys.
like Panarin.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
gonna get like a first for them in a
No,
haul? Like,
the Lawton trade. Look at that again. Same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
So I just think that those people need to realize like they're not going to tear it down. They've said it over and over again that this roster right now is not getting torn down. Because one, it can't be. It already has been.
yeah.
And two, they have guys in their system that they feel can still be on the team when they compete. And I think I agree with that.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I feel like a lot of people in the chat, by the way, while you were talking there, were saying like we could trade Konechny, we could trade Forster. If we traded those guys, I think 99% of this fan base would just lose its mind.
I lose my mind if they
And
traded
rightfully
Forster.
so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. If you traded Konechny, someone said like Zegras. If we traded Zegras,
What?
like, come on, what are we talking about?
That
Like,
makes zero sense.
no,
Zegras is the kind of guy we want to trade for.
yeah,
We want more of them. Why
exactly.
would
We
you?
want more Trevor Zegrases,
I'm
not
gonna entertain that one.
yeah, exactly. I don't understand it, but a lot of people apparently someone's saying they're also untouchable. I agree. I mean, a lot of the guys are untouchable. Like in my opinion, these are the guys that are untouchable in their eyes, not my eyes, in their eyes.
Yeah. In
Zegras,
management size.
Konechny, Tippett, Sanheim, Michkov. Probably Drysdale for now because I think they want to get the most out of him that they can,
Right.
just because of who we gave up to get him.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like if you trade Gauthier and then you get Drysdale in a second and then you trade Drysdale or let him walk, why'd you trade Gauthier?
Yeah.
Which, we know why they traded him, but we're going to look like idiots if then we get rid of Drysdale. So they're
Right.
trying to get the most out of him that they possibly can. Someone said Martone's untouchable. That's obvious. I'm talking about the guys
Yeah.
like on the roster right now.
Martone's definitely untouchable.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that aren't on the team yet that are untouchable, I would say. You think Martone is going to be up by next year? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yes, I think he'll be up by the end of the season. Oh
You think
my
so?
lord, the texts. Yeah, no, I think that he will. Whatchamacallit? I think that once Michigan, is it Michigan or Michigan State? I can never
Michigan
remember.
State.
Um,
Michigan State, yeah.
I think that they will not go very far. And I think that when they're eliminated from the postseason, is it a tournament? It's like a tournament style.
Yeah, it's like March
NCAA?
Madness, but for hockey.
Okay, gotcha. I think once that's done, he will come over to the NHL. So I think he's 100% locked to make the team next year.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying by October, at the very least, Martone's going to be a flyer already.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, good, good. Because the one thing that kind of pisses me off is like when we drafted Michkov or now Martone and Bonk and whoever, maybe Nesbitt.
Mm,
It took them forever to get. Not, I don't want to say forever with Michkov. It was only a year, but like it takes them a little bit to get over to the NHL. And
right.
then when you see guys like Bedard or uh, anybody on the Sharks that's been drafted the last few years, they get here immediately. And
Right.
it's like I kind of want to see them do that just because like if everyone's saying that we need a proper tank, then if you want to do that, then at least call up the young guys and let them get some playing time, you
Yeah,
know?
play the young kids, not
Exactly.
Christian Dvorak.
And yeah, or Couturier for all 82 games like you said.
Right.
Like by the way, speaking of 82 games, they're going to 84 next year
I
or the
think
year
so.
after?
I think it's next year.
Next year?
That's when the
That's pretty
new.
cool. Okay.
That's awesome. More hockey.
It
I,
is.
I can't get enough of it.
That's the difference between hockey and like basketball. As much as I love basketball, basketball they're talking about lowering the amount of games so that star players don't sit out.
Right.
Hockey, they're talking about playing more games so they get to
Yeah.
play more. Like it's kind of crazy how different the two sports have become. But
It's
anyway,
insane that they just do 82. Like I could not imagine skating like that for an hour,
oh no,
82 nights out of the year. My thighs would fall off.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I barely made it through a ball hockey tournament, so I could not
yeah,
imagine doing that. But it's pretty cool. More NHL means more happiness for me, I guess.
yeah. That's true. And someone said Michigan State is ranked number 2 right now,
Okay.
which good for Martone. But if we don't want them to go far, hopefully they can maybe get upset or something in the
Yeah, I
tournament.
want to see. I want to see Martone. I don't really follow NCAA hockey because
I
it's
don't either.
there's only so much hockey I can watch. Like I follow junior pretty closely.
Mhm.
Um, but what should we call it? I just want to see Martone. He's such an exciting player. I think he's going to be so good. So yeah, I just want to see Martone.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I'm trying to read what everyone's saying in the chat. Uh, oh, Michigan State plays Penn State outdoors in Beaver Stadium on Saturday.
Ah,
That's pretty cool. I know the Flyers are on Saturday afternoon. I'm going to that game, so I don't know
Kings
what
game.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what time that would be. Someone said you could trade Nick Sealer. What are we gonna get for Nick Sealer?
Um, I feel like you could package Nick Sealer. Um, he's old though. He's on the wrong side of 30 right now. Those kinds of defensemen, once they reach that 32, 33 age range, normally fall off a cliff. So yeah, I don't know. He's fine. Like Nick Sealer, he's just like a third pair defenseman that plays pretty well for a third pair defenseman. So
Right.
uh, I don't really necessarily see the point in that trading him unless it's part of a bigger package.
How about Risto? Because I know he's making over 5 mil.
Risto should get traded. Risto should 100% get traded. Even if they're trying to make the playoffs this year, he should be trade bait just because a team will overpay for a guy like that, and he's too much of a liability for us to keep him around. Also, he's getting up there too. I think he's
Yeah.
32.
That was another one of those Chuck Fletcher deals, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fantastic. Um,
yeah.
I'm trying to read what everyone else is saying in the chat here. Risto is made of glass. Yeah, Curtis, what's up, dude? Are we from Philly? I'm from Jersey. Um, I believe you're in Jersey as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm but like I can see Philly from my house, part of
Oh
Jersey.
wow.
Like Camden is literally the next town over, and then it's Philly. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I heard that the NHL wants to expand to 36 teams by 2030. I'm excited for that. I have not heard anything about that, but if that's true, that would be pretty sick.
I love
Four more
expansion
teams,
drafts.
though?
They're so exciting.
Yeah.
I love
Four
shit
more
like that.
teams though would be a
Uh,
lot in the next 4 years.
Quebec City's got to have another team, right?
You think Arizona gets a team?
I mean, I hope so, just for their fans' sake. Like
Yeah.
that, Could you imagine just the Flyers like actually no, we're moving to Minnesota, so we just don't have a team anymore? That would suck.
That would be terrible. Oh
Um,
my
I've heard
goodness.
Milwaukee. That's interesting. I
Okay.
think I think the Midwest is a good place to expand to for the NHL. I think that makes a lot of sense. And then I've also heard Houston as well.
Houston. Okay. That's interesting. You've heard some stuff about them expanding to 36 teams?
Yeah, like what should we call it? Jeff Merrick was talking about it a while ago on that podcast for the Daily Faceoff.
Okay.
I know Elliot Freeman brought it up a couple of times. It's not there's nothing concrete. It's just like all speculation at this point, but I've heard like rumblings of where what potential cities it could be.
Right. Okay. Um, let's see. Let's see what other people are saying. I wonder if anybody was talking about it. Oh, someone said Atlanta, but they said it would be
They
tough.
failed twice, dude. Like I agree
Yeah,
with that other.
exactly.
Yeah.
How we feeling about the Bruins game tonight? I'm smelling a bounce back win for the boys. I feel like we never beat the Bruins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one that feels that way, right? Like
Especially
we just have.
recently, recent history, like last 5 years.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think maybe
Like,
once, twice,
yeah.
twice. I
It
think.
feels like we haven't beaten them at all,
Yeah.
ever. And thankfully, I'm not trying to jinx it, but I feel like the last few games, Pasternak hasn't put up his normal 3, 4 goal performance against
No,
us.
don't jinx it.
But I'll knock
Yeah, I
on
was gonna say
wood.
you better knock on wood.
I really hope he doesn't do that now because people will come back to this and be pissed at me. But hopefully they can limit him to the best they possibly can. Uh, and another thing that they need to fix ASAP is giving up goals in like the first minute of the period and the last minute of the period.
Mm,
That is so deflating when you're going out there, you're all hyped to play, and then you're basically starting the game down 1-0.
right.
Same thing last night in Columbus. Then they go to the second period. Columbus gets a quick one in the second period.
I think they get two quick ones in the second period, right? Oh no, they score at the end of the first, Marchenko,
Yeah,
and then Gabranson scores from that stupid point shot.
yeah,
That Vladar, I don't even think he saw.
no,
So yeah, that pisses me off. It's something that I think Torts actually did pretty well because he hammered home in interview after interview. Like I hate when that happens, and I think the Torts Flyers are actually pretty good with that kind of stuff. Um, but like that, the game winning goal last night, I was like, you got to be kidding me! You have to be kidding me because one, the coverage by the defense, I think it was Cam York, who pinched way too early. Um, like it was such an obvious 2-on-1 when Monahan was wide open on the left side, or right or I don't whatever, on Vladar's blocker side,
yeah.
and two Flyers pinch the dude with the puck instead of one covering the dude in front of the net.
They
What are
do
you
that all the
thinking?
time. They
What
do
are
that
you doing?
all
And
the
also,
time.
there's 3 minutes left in the game. What are you doing?
Yeah. They do that all the time when someone's already covering the guy with the puck, and then
Mhm.
another guy will go and cover him with the puck. Like, hello, if two guys are on him, I think that means someone might be open.
I wonder where the shooter is.
Yeah.
Hmm.
like, like it's ridiculous. And then it's
Yeah.
the same thing on the game-winning goal last night, the fourth goal for Columbus. Like you said, the guy was wide open next to the
Yeah.
net.
I
Vladar had no chance.
think
It
it was
was ridiculous.
Monahan, Sean Monahan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Vladar had no chance. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And someone said they need to stop puck watching. Yeah. Uh, always getting cooked when we are nationally
That
televised.
is true.
We never
Yeah.
win when we're on like
Yeah.
TNT or ESPN. We never win.
Never.
And the announcers, I feel like maybe I'm just delusional because I'm a Flyers fan, but I feel like the announcers are always like they never have anything good to say about us.
Unless it's Boosh.
Unless it's Booch, because he was calling the game last night as well.
Yeah.
So,
I love Boosh. I think
me too.
um, he's a great color analyst. Eddie Olczyk isn't normally I can't stand him because he's just I remember him being like all over Crosby back in the day. So, but he's been getting better. But like I think more specifically with like the ESPN guys, they're so all over the other team, and then we just get like killed by the Sabres of all teams. Like I think that was the last nationally televised one before Columbus was the Sabres, and
Yeah,
we
it
got
was
whooped.
the Sabres and the Penguins back to back.
Yeah, yeah.
one was on TNT, one was on ESPN, and we got blown out both games.
Right.
So someone said we're 2 years away from being 2 years away.
That's the spirit. That's a
That's
true Flyers fan right there.
yeah, really. As a Jackets fan, we're irrelevant. LOL. I mean, you got the same amount of points as us, so I'm not going to sit here and call the Jackets irrelevant. Um,
I
let's
hate the
see.
Blue Jackets. I hate all of their Metro teams.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Although I do like Elvis Merzlikins. I hope he does well. That is a really crappy thing that happened to him.
Yeah. Let's see what other people are saying. I'm trying to read the chat. All announcers glazed Hockett. He was winning. He has 2 winning seasons in his head coaching career. Is that true? He only has 2 winning seasons as a head coach.
I have no idea if I'm being honest, and that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Because I remember his. Because how long was he? How long was he with Arizona?
Was he there that long? I don't
I
think
don't.
so.
I honestly don't know. Because I know there was obviously the Jack Adams year very
Yeah.
recently with the Canucks, and then I remember him being on the Coyotes team that like played above their expectations. So
Right. Yeah. The Flyers are going to borrow trust the process from the Sixers.
oh no,
I hope not.
I don't want to borrow anything from the Sixers.
Let's make the Blues an offer they can't refuse for Robert Thomas. What would
Tip
you
it,
want?
tip it. 2027 first round, and Oliver Blanc. Boom.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Boom. That's it. Get me on the call right now.
That's that's a lot, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I mean, because I was saying this the other day on here. I feel like a lot of Flyers fans are too conservative, and they're too scared to trade anything or
Right.
anyone because they don't want to hurt the future. But you
Right.
can't be planning for the future for a decade,
Right.
which is what we've basically been doing.
Yeah.
You got to eventually not you don't have to go all in. You don't have to go all in and say, oh, let's trade all of our firsts and go get, Connor McDavid and make the playoffs this year and win the cup right now.
I'd be cool with that.
I would be cool with that too. But we don't necessarily have to do that, but you do eventually have to get somebody.
Yeah. You
You
have to
know,
make moves.
you have to
You have
make
to.
moves eventually
Yeah.
that take you in the right direction that aren't a step back or a step into the future. You got to live in the present a little bit.
You don't want to. You don't want to be Ron Hextall.
Exactly. Like you don't have to go out and get somebody that's 38 years old or something, but go out and get somebody that's 30 or younger and makes the team better.
Right.
Like I don't see what the big problem is with that. Someone said I don't know why we're listing players, but someone said Zegras, Drysdale, Michkov, and Martone. I
I
guess
think he's
those are
saying
the.
who are untouchable.
Oh yeah, someone said this team has 0 untouchables. That's not true. I
Yeah,
disagree.
no, that's completely untrue. There's not a single NHL team that has zero untouchables. That's
I
not.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's
Yeah,
unrealistic.
yeah, that's not true.
Um, I think I agree with that. Zegras, Drysdale, Michkov, Martone. I don't know if Drysdale's 100% an untouchable.
You don't think
Um,
Konechny?
well, Konechny, like he has a he has a no trade clause, so it's like
Yeah, it's
I
true.
don't think he wants to leave anytime soon, so that's not really a thing. Um, I agree. Get Robert Thomas and a good defenseman in free agency, and they're at least a playoff team. I can agree with that.
Yeah, I could
It's
agree
not
with
a
that.
that's not a bad take.
No, not at all. Is there a certain like defenseman that you'd want to go out and get, or not really anybody specific?
If we're going a free agency route, not anyone specific, just because this free agency class is pretty shit.
Yeah,
Um,
it's pretty weak. Yeah,
but whatchamacallit, like I really, really want to see them go after Owen Power. He is playing better with Buffalo, but there are guys that are breathing down his neck a lot, and like and I was doing a lot of research about the Sabres recently, just because I was so confused at how all of a sudden they just started winning.
yeah,
And it seems to me like he is kind of on the outskirts of their plans moving forward. And if we're able to get a guy like Owen Power, that would make our top four even better. like I'm of the belief we don't need a 1D. I think that should not be a priority. I think that our defense, as it is right now, is pretty good to okay, and with one more piece to the top four, not necessarily like a Kale McCarr or a somebody like that, but somebody who can be a solid addition to that top four, we would have one of the best units in the East,
Yeah.
all like top to bottom.
I've been speaking of you kind of, backing up the defense here. I feel like a guy who's been getting way too much hate is Travis Sanheim. I don't know if you've seen it, but on social media, all I've been seeing is like, how is Sanheim on Team Canada? This guy sucks. He's a traffic cone. Like, what are we talking about? He's our
Are we
best
watching
defenseman.
the same game? Like
Yeah, are we
what?
watching the same sport? Like,
Yeah,
what are we talking about? Like, he's been our best defenseman for what? How many years now?
at least five.
Yeah. So I don't know what
Yeah.
we're talking about. But
Like since
yeah,
Niskanen retired, he's been our best defenseman.
yeah, Niskanen. I forgot about him. Yeah,
Sorry to bring up old scars there.
yeah. Ever since Mark Stahl left,
Oh yeah, what a stalwart on the back end that guy was.
oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that year we had him on the team. They were selling Flyers Mark Stahl jerseys at Wells Fargo Center.
I almost bought one. It
Are
was
you
like
serious?
75% off the next. It was 2024-25 home opener.
Wow.
And it was like the sale rack, and there was one of them there for it was like 75% off, but it was still like $70. So I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
But
no.
if that was even a little bit cheaper, I would love to have a Mark Stahl Flyers jersey.
Oh my gosh, he was so bad.
Woof. Woof.
Ugh. Sanheim is a top pair on almost any team.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah.
I actually, so very recently, I did something where I went through every team's number one defenseman and said if I would take Sanheim over him or not. And Sanheim ranks in at like 14, 13. Like if I'm being super generous, like 15th, but still that's top half of the league.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't understand the Sanheim hate at all. He's been uh, a valued contributor to this team for a really long time now.
Yeah. Someone said we need a hard-nosed heavy hitter on the line. Is that going to be somebody that can actually play, or is it going to be another Delorier, Hathaway, Grabenkin guy? Because I said this with my friend Nick, who's been on the show before. You can have a Delorier on your team or a Hathaway, like to set the tone. You want to put your fourth line out there against somebody that has a guy like, when you're playing Pittsburgh or New
Right.
York and you want to do that, fine. You can't have a whole line of them.
And I think we've seen how bad this fourth line has been this year,
Yeah.
with like the rotating cast of nobodies. I like Rankin a lot, actually.
I do too.
I think he could be a really good bottom six. Like he could fit in very well on a third line, on a fourth line. He's got a lot of energy. He makes little plays that don't always work, but they're still net positives, you know.
Mhm.
Um, but I think Hathaway, I think he gets bought out at the end of this year. He looks broken. Delorier, we don't need him necessarily. I do think that physicality um, could be important going forward, but like I don't know. Owen Tippett uses his body a lot more.
It's true.
We have guys that aren't necessarily afraid to hit, and I don't think size should necessarily be a priority. I think we need to focus more on positional needs.
I 100% agree. And someone said I got a really hot take. I think the Flyers should trade for John Carlson. Could be a mentor slash help the penalty kill.
Uh, what's that contract looking like?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't know what his contract looks like, so that would depend. That would kind of make up my mind.
Hmm.
But someone said Carlson wouldn't leave Ovi. I agree, but not if he's traded.
I mean, yeah, he literally can't help that.
Yeah. I have a John Carlson bobblehead on my dresser right now. That's funny. Someone said he's too old. Yeah. I mean,
Have you heard the Dougie Hamilton possibility?
I've heard that he might get traded. I haven't heard about to us. Is that a
They're
rumor?
again. I think it was not to mention them again, but the PHLY podcast.
Mm.
I'm a devoted listener, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
Um, they were talking about the possibility of trading for him to fix the power play. And I don't hate that idea at all, bringing in a because I think that is the major reason why the power play sucks as bad as it does is we do not have a point man.
They don't have a big defenseman quarterback in the power play like a Pronger or something,
Yeah.
you know? So,
Um, and Hamilton can do that. He only has one more year left on a contract on his contract. So using him as like a stopgap, especially if you are going to trade Rasmus Ristolainen, which please, dear God, Danny, if you can hear me, please do that. But yeah, I wouldn't mind Dougie if it comes cheap, wouldn't mind that at all.
someone said they think we should trade Jet.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, he's barely proved himself. Unless it's in a package to get someone really good, fine. But like, I wouldn't go out of my way to say we're trading Jet Luchenko. You know,
Yeah,
He-
like just to trade
barely-
him makes no sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, if he was packaged, like I said, if he was packaged in a deal for some like a really elite center or something, fine.
yeah.
But there's no purpose in trading him.
No.
Trade all of our picks for Bedard and Celebrini. I
They would never
guess.
get moved.
Yeah, no. Um, someone said Jet has done nothing. Well, he hasn't played on the team very much, so he can't really do anything if he's not on the team.
He's younger than I am. I think he's younger than us by
He's
like
younger
two
than us.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which
Someone, the
I think.
Carlson contract was 8 years, 64 mil.
Oh no, thank you then.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
What were you saying though? I didn't mean
Oh, I
to.
was just gonna say like people. I think people forget about that. Like you can't treat hockey the same with other you do as other sports because other sports you get drafted out of college. Like you are a fully grown adult by the time you are drafted into the majors in any other respective sport, right?
Right.
Hockey, you're drafted. Maybe some guys aren't even like high school graduation age. Like these are kids, and you're banking on development, right? So just because a guy isn't impressing in the juniors, just because a guy isn't impressing on a bigger stage when he's again younger than my dumbass, um, does not mean that you can get rid of him. You don't like that is the number one thing that screams you don't understand how prospects work. Am I a little disappointed by Jet Luchenko's trajectory so far? Yeah. I mean, he's not killing it. He could be doing a lot better, but is that making me hate him or want him, traded or anything like that? Absolutely not. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jack Nesbitt.
Yeah. Nesbitt, I barely know anything about the dude. Like,
He's a good player. He's a really
yeah,
good player. He just has skating issues, which so does every prospect with a little bit of size in the NHL. Remember Forrester? Like people were talking about that, how he had skating issues.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
And
They had to
look where he
trade
is
up
now.
for Nesbitt for a reason.
Mhm.
Like they traded up to get him.
Yeah.
They had to do that for a specific reason. There's something they saw about him. Same with Luchenko. They had to see something because they didn't trade up to get Luchenko, but
They
according to
traded
everyone else,
back.
they reached on him.
Mhm.
Like he wasn't projected to be that high. So clearly with Nesbitt and Luchenko, there's something there that the Flyers see that we don't or
Right.
that everyone else doesn't. So I'm gonna sit back and just say, hey, you know, I'm gonna let them I'm basically gonna let them just prove themselves before I say, oh, get Luchenko out of here, get Nesbitt out of here, or that I'm not high on them because I want to see what they have to offer first before I judge them.
Yeah.
You know, so uh, I feel like he has a little longer leash than that. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm trying to see if we missed anything. What can we do with Berglund? Berglund's not going anywhere.
I think he'll be a pretty good third line center once he comes up.
Yeah.
I think that's like his ceiling. I don't know if he's necessarily the most exciting prospect in the world. I think people pay attention a little bit too much to World Juniors. Like it's a very small sample size.
Right.
But he'll be a very useful player going forward, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Risto for a second. I think you can get more than that.
You think we can get more than that?
Teams get desperate at the trade deadline, man. They
We got a first for Lawton.
exactly, and Sean Walker.
I'm still
Um,
confused how we got more for Lawton than we did for Kuzmenko.
uh,
Kuzmenko, we only got a
yeah,
third.
yeah.
It was the same deadline.
It was the same day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. The Lawton thing, I remember seeing that being like, Danny Bear is the greatest GM of all time. We just
Yeah.
fleeced the Leafs.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
he
yeah,
might have gotten points this year. So,
yeah,
so it's definitely a first was definitely worth it.
oh yeah. And Gurbankin, like again, getting a very useful
Yeah.
player who I could see being on this team for a while. For Lawton, who is again at his age half the player he used to be. So I
Yeah.
love Lawton. Great player, obviously. Meant a lot to the city, but that's a deal you do 10 times out of 10.
Someone said, "How do you guys feel about Airson? He's starting tonight against Boston.
Right?
So he's been playing a little bit better lately, though. I do have to say, is he playing that well? No, but he's better than what he was 2, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, did he step up and become, Martin Brodeur when Vladar was hurt? No, but we don't expect that out of him. We're not asking that out of him. But he stepped up as much as he could, and he helped us win a few games, a few hard games too,
Yeah.
against Vegas, against Colorado, both on the road. When Vladar was out, I mean,
He played
no,
exceptionally well in that Colorado game.
yeah, yeah. And I look, I'm not Arison's biggest fan, but I will defend him in this case because when we were on that 6 game losing skid, and then we were going to those 3 road games against the Knights, the Mammoth, and the Avalanche, everyone counted us out and just wrote us off and said, "All right, now it's a 9 game losing streak." And Arison played pretty solid, especially against Vegas, where he only gave up 1 goal,
Right.
and we won 2 out of 3 of those games, and we got 5 points in those 6 games or 3 games, 5 points in those 3 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I I was satisfied with his performance on that road trip. Now Vladar's back. If Arison can come in tonight and play a decent game, we could win, and I'd
Yeah.
be very happy with that. So before we wrap things up, I want to get your thoughts on tonight's game, Jake. Score prediction, if you have one.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 5-4 Flyers in overtime. I think they're due for an overtime win. I think
I
they're
like
due for like one of those weird like scoring back and forth games. With Arison, you never really know what you're gonna get. Uh, um, and yeah, I'll say 5-4 overtime Flyers, and I will say Owen Tippett scores the game winner.
Ooh. Dude, if that happens, that
I,
would
I
be
need to
pretty.
start gambling immediately if that
Yeah.
happens. Immediately.
I was gonna say 5-4 Flyers in a shootout.
Okay.
So our predictions are pretty similar.
Okay.
So I predicted them to win in a shootout last night. Didn't really happen, but
Almost. Could have gotten
almost.
there.
We almost got there
Yeah.
until we didn't. But yeah, I'll say 5-4 Flyers in a shootout. Jake will say 5-4 Flyers in overtime. Someone said 5-2 win. Michkov with 2. I love that. Oh my
I'll
gosh.
agree with the Michiko multi-point night. That was another caveat I was going to put. I think he's going to have a multiple point night.
I like that. I like that a lot. Bruins are 11-2-1 in the last 14. Look, the Knights were hot before we beat them.
I was going to say, it sounds like they're due for a loss then.
Sounds like they're due. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right?
that's what it sounds like to me. Someone said 5-2 Boston. Come on. Like, you're a Flyers fan. Come on. Uh Dvorak 3 assists. I like it. Yeah, everyone comment your predictions right now for tonight's game if you haven't already for Flyers Bruins. Score predictions, maybe a hot take. Someone said Zegras is due.
Zegras is due. Zegras is
Zegras
due.
is
That
due.
is true. He had a lot of good opportunities last night that he didn't finish on. So I wouldn't be surprised if he had a big game.
Yeah, I agree. Um T's gonna do his stream after this ends. That's sick. Good job, T. Way to be. 5-3 Flyers. There we go, Joe. That's a
Okay.
good prediction. I like that. Hathaway fight
Fight
and
and
a goal.
goal.
A big night for Garnett Hathaway.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for this episode. Jake, you have any last thoughts before we wrap things up?
Not just let's go Flyers, and I'm happy to be a part of the J. Let me get this right here. JTSN. I almost said JSTN earlier, um, which makes no sense, but I'm happy to be a part of the family, and yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, it was great having you on. It's great to have someone on here that knows so much about the Flyers. It was great talking to you, and Yeah, if you guys are interested in watching T stream after this, one of our other guys here at JTSN is gonna be live right after us, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, go Flyers.
Let's go Flyers, baby.